everybody, it's Shannon Bengford in Portland, Oregon with Hobbit Piano Training Online. Today we are doing video 2, part 2 of from my all request series for Daniel in St. Louis. Hi Daniel. Part 1 went over the right hand of Hound Dog, just like I played it there, but we didn't really talk about the bass line. So part 2 here today we're going to go over 3 different bass lines you can practice with the melody of Hound Dog. Alright, let's start. Let's dive in here. Here's option 1, option 2, and option 3. Option 1 is just keeping a steady quarter note bass line with the root of the chords. So C's all the way across. When it changes to F, we change to F. Back to C, steady chord. Here's option 1 down here. Steady G's, steady F's, and then a pushed C here at the end before a drum beat. Option 2 is a actual walking bass line, similar to how you would walk with the 12-bar blues. Boom, 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 boom. And option 3 is the actual bass line from the song, which is probably the hardest. It's a syncopated bass line. Boom, 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 boom. It's very common in oldies rock, but a couple of Elvis songs. Boom, 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 to sort of have that syncopated bass line there. So let's go over each one. I will play each one for you. And I think the best way to practice it is to simplify the melody at first and take out all those harmony notes that we did in video part 1. If you haven't seen part 1, watch video part 1. We go over how you harmonize the melody. But here in part 2, you would start by just playing, I just reduced it to just the melody in the right hand up here in the treble clef in the red with the bass line on the left hand here. So I put 5 on E flat, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, E flat 5. And our left hand pinky down here on C2. Here's C1, here's C2. And this is going to be our steady beat here, alright? You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. Jump up to F. Jump back down to C. G. F. And push the C. And then here's our drum beat. And for this little drum beat section here, which is where the lyrics stop, drum beat into the second verse, we can swing the eighths, 2, a 3, a 4, a 1, or if you can do it, play triplets, which is pretty fast. Alright, so the first step is, can you keep a steady beat in your left hand, just straight quarter notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, every measure, and play the syncopated rhythm of the melody there, which is based on a swung eighth note feel. 1, the swung feel. You ain't nothing but a hound dog. Alright, as soon as you can coordinate those two, and again the fingerings here are just 5 on C, you'd have 2 on F when you get to the F, back to C with 5, use your thumb on G, back down to number 2 here, and then a quick 2-5, which is F to C. Alright, fingerings for option 1, very simple. This is all about just doing the composite rhythm of right hand melodic, the melodic rhythm of the right hand with the steady left hand. The left hand in piano, especially solo piano, or if you're singing and playing, becomes our steady foundation. It's like the metronome. It represents the bass or the drum beat all in one. So you have to be able to play a steady rhythm with the melody. Alright, so I would try this first. And as soon as you can do that, try it with the harmonies. Through harmonies that we went over in video part 1 with option 1 here. Now, as soon as you can do that, go back to playing just the melody and try bass line option 2 here. Let's go over that. So this is a walking bass line. This is a pentatonic bass line. Alright, since we're playing a regular C major chord or C6, let's go over that. The notes here of this walking bass line on the C6 chord are C, E, G, A. So C is the root. That's your root of the chord. E is the third of the chord, G is the fifth of the chord, and A is a sixth above C, so they call this a C6 chord. You could also play like this, or like this. Alright, and then you're going to hit the octave on top here, the high C, and this is our pattern. Fingering wise, you're going to use 5, then 4, then 3, and 2, then 1. Alright, it's a 2-measure pattern. So it takes up 2 measures here, 2 measures here, then we switch to F. Alright, if this fingering is too hard and you're not comfortable sort of rolling or rocking your wrist like this, as you speed it up, as you can see, my wrist sort of follows from thumb to your pinky. I aim my fingers. Alright, if that's too hard, you can close your hand up and use fingers. It's right here. 5, 3, 2, 1. 5 on C, 3 on E, 2 on G, 1 on A. And then you would cross over with 2 to the high C. Tuck right back under to A. Alright, and this is probably the fingering that most people use when they start walking a bass line in 12-bar blues. Person 12-bar blues, they probably go to the C7, which would be this B flat here. In 12-bar rock, we usually cross over to the root on top, because we don't have the 7th. It's just a plain C chord or C6 chord. Alright, let's go over the bass line on F. F, A, C, that's their F chord. Root, 3rd, 5th, there's the 6th. Here we go. It's over here. F, A, C, D, and then cross over to the E flat. So we are doing F7 here. You could do just regular F and hit the F on top here. But I don't mind the E flat here. He's singing the E flat anyways. Alright, it's your choice. You can do this to this flat 7, or you can do up to the root here, and this would be just a regular F or F6 chord. Okay, we drop back down to C, play our pattern on C, or use every finger if you want. When we get down to G, we're going to do a descending bass line, walking down from G, root, 7th, 6th, 5th. So that's 1, that's the root, the 1. Backwards would be the 7th of the G7 chord, passing 6th, and then the 5th of the G chord here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then same thing on F7, we'll descend. There's only 8th notes there. Ain't no friend of mine, ain't no friend of mine, never caught a rabbit and you ain't no friend of mine. Alright, so let me play all of option 2 for you here. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. Well, you ain't never caught a rabbit and you ain't no friend of mine. Here's our drum beat. Okay, cool. So that is actually a great way to practice it. Even if you're not that great of a singer, this is a little high for me, you can first see if you can just sing the melody or at least have it going in your head while keeping that steady beat in your left hand in option 1 here or option 2. You know, all right? Then play the melody. You ain't nothing but... Okay, so here it is together under tempo. 2, 3, 4, 1. Drum beat. Well, he said you was high class. You launch into the second verse there. Same bass line in the second verse as the first. Same bass line if you were to solo. Part 3 of this series is going to go over how I would solo using these pentatonic scales with some blue notes. Let's go over option 3, the real bass line here. Alright, option 3. Alright, it's syncopated. We hit on 1, then the and of 2. Syncopation is when you have notes that hit in between the beat. It's like an uneven rhythm. So how I would count that would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 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 Physically, this is the easiest to play because it's just a broken C chord, major chord, broken F chord, back to a broken C chord, broken G chord, broken F chord, and a broken or arpeggiated C chord. Actually, that's where we would stop after the F chord, my bad. Okay, so here's what it sounds like all together. You ain't nothing but a hound dog. cool. So this is the most challenging one to do because it's rhythmically more complex. You have syncopated, swung eighth note sort of rhythms in the melody, along with this syncopation in the left hand, where these the notes hit on 1 and the end of 2 and 4. So let me put the two together for you here. Great exercise to practice getting hand independency, control of a rhythm in your right hand with control of a completely different uneven rhythm in your left hand. You ain't nothing but a hound dog. Oh, I was gonna say, like, a lot of times the reason why this is so cool is the melody often hits on the end of 2 here. Hound dog, it's syncopated. Or starts on the end of 2. Crying all the time. You ain't nothing but a hound dog. And then here, crying all the time. So it's almost like we're accenting the end of 2 when playing this rhythm. All right, here it is. The right hand melody with option 3 bass line right here. You ain't nothing but a hound dog. Well, they said you was high class. Alright, option 3 with all the harmonies from video part 1. You ain't nothing but a hound dog. Screw that last part up. Oh, oh. Well, you ain't never gonna love it, and you ain't no friend of mine. Alright, so notice the difference in feeling when you're playing the syncopated bass line, the actual bass line, compared to the steady bass line here. Here's the steady bass line. Here's the syncopated bass line, option 3. Alright, so way more groovy in option 3, but the question is, which is more danceable? You know, which is, as a piano solo, which is going to really feel like you're keeping the beat more? And I think option 2 is the answer. It covers more of the composite rhythm of everything going on in the song, which is drums, guitar, bass, and then the melody that Elvis is singing. So I'm probably going to do a whole series on composite rhythm and how you make good choices with your piano solo arrangements from fake books, or even your piano accompaniment for singing and playing, as I do as a dueling piano player. So good luck with trying these different bass lines with the melody of Hound Dog. The goal is to try the melody with the simple one first and work your way up to option 2 or 3, and you can play whichever one you prefer. Okay, all right, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks.